Good morning, IHSA football family. It is time now for a watch list class of 2023. Defensive stars, defensive watch list of my watch list on deepdishfootball.com. It is on a section titled Watch List. Make sure you check it out on deepdishfootball.com. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com if you have any questions. And again, this watch list is just for the defensive players. Their names might be appearing also. Their names also might not be on the defensive player watch list. They might be on the athletes watch list. So make sure you check out the athletes watch list too. Check out all the videos that the guy, quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and all that other, the whole thing on YouTube. And again, names will be added to this watch list daily, monthly. So make sure I have your information. Fill out the free recruiting questionnaire on deepdishfootball.com. It's absolutely free. I do not sell your information. In fact, I share your information with college coaches for absolutely free. I do not charge college coaches anything. And again, still doing free recruiting advisement sessions, and it's absolutely free. I talk with parents and their recruits and just talk about the easier way for them to get exposure and everything else. It's absolutely free, no charge, nothing. Email me at coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. Still looking for sponsors and advertisers if you're interested. Brand new year, please email me at coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. So here we go. And we're going to be talking about defensive players for the class of 2023. And after this, the next video will be about the classes of 24 and 25. Thank you so much and enjoy us starting off with the defensive tackles of the state of Illinois for the class of 2023. And the thing that I also saw in these defensive playmakers too, for my watch list, and the defensive players that weren't on my watch list, I saw a lot of horrible technique, really bad technique, and I was quite surprised by it. Very surprised by the technique of a lot of these defensive players. Just some bad stuff. Defensive linemen standing up, linebackers playing tall, DBs not hip tracing, just guessing where the ball's at and not following the route. It was bad, and I'm very shocked with this class about that. I think hopefully things will get better. A lot of DBs, again, they're going more towards they're playing that 7-on-7 type of style football, high school football, and that doesn't work, and that's why a lot of big plays were given up. We'll see what happens, but this class of 2023 defensive players, it's like the top players, but there's nothing in the middle, and then you get into the bottom. So it's a really weird class of defensive players for 2023. It was very disappointing in defensive tackles. Linebackers, they were good. Defensive backs, top, good. Bottom, middle, it's going down. You can see the technique of the defensive player going down. It started in 2020. Now it just keeps dragging down more and more. So not a real strong defensive class for this class of 2023, no doubt about it. But hopefully things will improve and everything else. All right. Good afternoon. Well, good morning. I'm sorry. Good morning. Still morning. And we get into the Illinois defensive tackles. And again, I do apologize. I do massacre a lot of pronunciations of names. I am horrible. Again, I am a caveman. No doubt about that. But again, let's get started, shall we? And again, make sure you follow Coach Big P and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Next, the first one for defensive tackles on my watch list is Keshawn Harrington-Mckinney of Harlem, and he is just a massive body, great upper body strength. And again, he closes up the gaps. He's definitely a kid to keep an eye out for. He's going to be rising pretty soon as we get into this spring. Roderick Pierce, Brother Rice, one of the most purest defensive tackles in the state of Illinois. Unbelievable. Just scored an offer from Wisconsin. I think it was yesterday or today. He is a special type of player. He's already gathering up offers. And again, Brother Rice, he's the next in that great defensive tackle lineage. I know it was a transfer of Denver Warren from a couple of years back, but Roderick Pierce is the real deal. Saw him at Fist Football in 2020, fall 2020, and he completely impressed me. He's only getting better. Next one, Jaylen Ray St Lawrence. A little bit of undersized, but again, he gets the job done. Very, very impressive with his upper body. And I love the fact that he just keeps on fighting. He keeps on fighting no matter what, and good agility too. Next one, Andrew Zook. He can play defensive end, but I like him at defensive tackle, and he is a quarterback's nightmares. Andrew Zook could be one of the top 3 defensive tackles in the state of Illinois. Once it's all said and done, again, keep a close eye on this guy. Caleb Singleton, Moline, again, good upper body strength. Again, has to work on his speed. But Caleb Singleton is another real deal defensive tackle that you must know about out of Moline. Did an interview with him. Very impressed with this young man. Definitely kid that you keep him to check out. Next one, sort of a little bit of a dark horse, but definitely he's a kid you got to check out. Ryan Wolenczuk, Zook of Marist. I did a little bit of a scouting video of him on December, and he completely impressed me. The kid is the real deal, and he's definitely one of those defensive tackles that we need to talk about more and more. And again, from Marist, again, he's got that great Marist mindset of playing football. Hard-nosed, tough-nosed kid, knock you on your ass. And Ryan Wolenczuk is one of those type of kids from Marist. And again, great speed too. Next one, star. This kid's on fire right now. Everyone's talking about him. College coaches absolutely love him. Jamal Howard. Out of Marist High School, he has been unbelievable. His overall athleticism. He can play any position on the line. Again, good hand fighting off technique as well. And still so raw that it's a defensive line college coach really likes it, so he can mold it into his way of a defensive tackle. Jamal Howard's one of them. Next one, Kaleb Randolph. Now, Kaleb Randolph also plays a little bit on the outside, but Kaleb Randolph, again, great speed, great consistency, and just an unbelievable player. Fights off those blocks, and again, closes in on the plays too and shuts off his lane. He's definitely a kid to keep an eye out for. Next one, Derion Lee Zion-Benton, 6'3" defensive tackle, a kid that you must know about. You should not be sleeping on this kid. Derion Lee Zion-Benton is going to explode onto the scene. 6'3" defensive tackle, plays lights out, old school type of defensive tackle, old school mentality, will knock you on your ass. But Derion Lee of Zion-Benton, class of 2023 defensive tackle is an name that you must know. Another defensive tackle, plays a little bit on the outside too, but I really like this kid. Very impressed with his technique. Still a little bit raw. Would like to see him work on his speed a little bit. Blake Linzigny of O'Fallon High School, another all-felon, all defensive lineman that you must keep an eye out for in the class of 2023. I like some of the tackles that he made, and I still like his footwork as well, and he's definitely a kid to watch out. Another one, very raw, Kenyata Forbes Jr. out of Kenwood Academy. He is an absolute stud. Absolute stud, Kenyata Forbes. He's continuously getting better, especially from when I saw the films earlier of his years at Kenwood. He's continuously getting better. Definitely a name that you need to check out. Next one, Boston Bauer out of Huntley has been one of those kids that I've watched since his freshman year. He's completely impressed me, and he's finally found his spot. He is working his ass off. He is one of those kids. And again, another football type of kid that you need to watch out for. Boston Bauer is that real deal. And again, is going to only get better and better and better. And again, the big thing with him is his ability, his technique, and again, his ability to fire off the ball. Again, closing off those gaps. Also good pass rush too. And I played a little bit of defensive end before. Next one, and this one is a question wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in more question marks. TJ McMillen out of St. Francis. I have him at defensive tackle. I had him at offensive lineman. I had him at defensive end. Again, it's just up in the air with this kid. I should have honestly put him at the athlete spot, but TJ McMillen is one of the most purest athletes in the state of Illinois right now because he can play any spot. He is a real deal for college teams. And again, I still feel that we do not know where he's at. I think we'll get a pretty good idea with going into his sophomore season in college. Still some questions. But again, he is an absolute athlete. Very athletic, good on defense, good on offense. I felt that he can play whatever spot he wants to play. but we'll see what he's more passionate about. I think that's the most important thing, and I think that's going to be one of the key things for TJ McMillen. All right, so we get into defensive ends and edge rushers of class of 2023. Again, good. I mean, there's some stars, but again, like I said before, it's just a weird. This is just a weird year for defensive players. Brooks Barr, Lyle Academy is one of those big dog defensive ends that we should talk about. Old school 4-man front defensive end, especially would look good in the 4-2-5 as well. Kid's an absolute beast. Talked about more in his junior season, getting into his senior season. Sophomore season was first spotted. Junior season getting a lot better. His senior season, I think he's going to be unbelievable. He's getting offers. I think he's going to get more offers. He's already hit the national spotlight, but Brooks Barr is one of those kids. Andrew Laurick of Yorkville, unbelievable kid. Overall, great athleticism, great hand-fighting technique. And again, good overall athleticism. Him and I'm forgetting the kid's name I just talked about in defensive tackle. They make a hell of a defensive line. Next one, Julius Ward out of Carbondale. Unbelievable athletic talent. Also played a little bit of tight end, but Julius Ward is mostly a defensive end. The kid gets the job done. Nice, good frame, too. And again, solid 4-man front type of defensive end that you need to know about. Joyala, St. Francis. And this is one of my favorite guys. He had a hell of a season. He did a lot of good work that wasn't even on his highlights. He helped out a lot of people on that defensive line and those linebackers. He does a great job. Still very raw, but again, he's working towards his progressions. Again, great speed. Again, good, nice little burst out low. Doesn't go up high, and that's been a huge problem with these defensive linemen nowadays. They play too high, they get lazy, and they get tired. But Joey Alala is doing a good job. He's going to keep it up. Zoe Zadai from Plainfield Central is a kid that you must know about. Stop sleeping on this kid. This kid is the real deal. He is definitely one of those kids that you must know about. And people really honestly don't know about this kid, but Zion Zadai of Plainfield Central is that real deal. He has been unbelievable. Great frame. Got to work a little bit on his agility, but definitely a kid that you must know from Plainfield Central. Definitely is going to be a scorcher when we get into the summer camp season. Shin Sheck of Marmion Academy has been unbelievable. Starting in his boom season, was completely impressed with the kid. Good frame. I think a lot of people are waiting to see when he gets into the fall season, but he's definitely a kid that you want to see. Troy Cooper of Glenbard East. Troy Cooper is on another just a more remarkable defensive end out of Glenbard East, and there's two. But Troy Cooper is the first one. He is a special type of kid. A little bit of an edge rusher, as I see it too. Great speed. Still needs to work on his technique, but he has the athleticism. Next one, big dog recruit, Patrick Farrell out of St. Rita is the real deal. And like I talked to a few of the Big Ten coaches, they absolutely love this kid. He's only going to get better. They love what they saw from his junior season. The most important thing right now for Patrick Farrell, again, is going to be working on his technique. But again, he is a highly progressed defensive end, one of the more better defensive ends that's grown into his body, and doesn't play unbalanced. He plays a great balance, great footwork as well. But again, a little bit more work on the technique. Next one, Keshawn Hayden. East St. Louis, another underrated defensive end. I know it's East St. Louis; they can't be underrated, but he deserves more respect that he's getting. I think he's going to gradually get more offers as we get into the spring. Next one, Dalmario Taylor, Glenbard East, another Glenbard East Ram. That's looking unbelievable. Unbelievable respect for this kid. Just high character kid, a kid that you must know about. And a good role model kid for a program. Demario Taylor is one of those kids. He's that special type of player you need to know about out of Glenbard East. Overall, upper body strength is great. Great footwork too. A big shout out to the defensive line coaches. They worked their wonders with Demario Taylor. You can see the progressions from his earlier seasons to now. He's getting a lot better. Dalmario Taylor is one of the best in the state of Illinois. Griffin Carr, Hinsdale South. Griffin Carr, great fit frame. Still growing into his body. A lot of unbalanced actions, especially with his footwork. You can see, again, easy if you, again, a little bit of a joust, a little bit of a push from an offensive lineman, he gets a little bit unbalanced. But he's only getting better. But Griffin Carr from Hinsdale South is a top defensive end. Again, still growing into his body. He's going to be a camp look at definitely for college coaches. Next one, Cole Snead. And Cole Snead, to me, again, Cole Snead, I absolutely love. Pure athletic edge rusher that I see. Needs, again, to work on a little bit of his hand work. Again, hand placement too. Missed a few key spots, especially against offensive linemen. But he has shown flashes and definitely a kid to watch out for. Quinton Handy, Zion-Benton, also can play defensive tackle, I feel. Again, a good, nice little old school type of three-man line. It reminds me a little bit more and more of, I'm forgetting the kid's name from 2017, but he is good. He's got the technique. Again, he's got to work on that acceleration, but he's getting a lot better. Ivan Erickson, Marmion Academy, again, still growing into his body. We will see what happens with him. He's going to be a project, but if they can get everything down with him, he can be one of the best defensive ends in the Midwest. But again, it's one of those growth maturation processes. He's shown his strength. I'd like to see more of an acceleration and again on his footwork as well. Danny Novakis of Mount Carmel has been an absolute star. He's been a stud since the Lemming Showcase, which was like 2 years ago. The kid's just been awesome. He's been unbelievable. He is the real deal. He's one of those kids that's going to continuously get offers and is going to help build the program, a college program. Definitely, and he's a safe recruit. He's a very safe recruit for a college program. Danny Novakis is definitely one of them. Next one, Tyson Beck. He's been hot. He's been cold in the recruiting trail. I think he's going to heat up even more. But Tyson Beck out of Holman Flossmoor, great athlete, nice kid as well. Definitely would like to see, again, more flashes, especially from how he can help, especially on those double teams. Carl Schmalz of Niles Notre Dame has been an absolute beast this camp season. Wrestling champ, state title champ, great leverage, great push on him. He's continuously working, getting himself better, and he could be one of those big defensive ends as we get into the spring to talk about recruits. He's going to be huge. And the last one, which was a little bit of a surprise to people, but really wasn't a surprise to college coaches and scouts, Owen DeFranco of Glenbard South. And I have no idea why people were sleeping on this kid last year, but he was one of the main reasons for that defensive line that was unbelievable for Glenbard South. And again, he helped out a lot of his defensive linemen, and his defensive linemen shined when he helped out, and Owen DeFranco was one of those kids. And you saw it in the film, and that's why a lot of college coaches, I know, were a little bit pressured on to go after another defensive lineman on that group. But the main thing was Owen DeFranco. He was the main guy, and he was getting the job done. Owen DeFranco of Glenbard South, he's the real deal. He's already got the offers. He's going to continue to get more offers. And to me, he is still growing and he's still progressing. And he's a kid that you must know about. No doubt about it. Thank you so much. And now we get into linebackers and defensive backs. All right. So we get into the linebackers. State of Illinois, class of 2023. Ryan Anderson, Naperville North. Mr. Everything, but does everything correctly. Again, I'd like to see a little bit more speed on his way. But Ryan Anderson of Naperville North is going to be another top linebacker, top 5 linebacker in the state of Illinois. Jack Oberhofer from Glenbard West. Very one of those kids that I was told don't talk about that much from college coaches. They want to keep him a secret, one of the bigger secrets in DuPage County. But Jack Oberhofer got his first offer out of Glenbard West. He is a star linebacker, also a little bit of an athlete too. He is going to be big. He's going to continuously get more offers. Very high on-field IQ for linebacker. Definitely a kid you need to know. Tyler Genesee of Batavia. Absolute star. Top 25 recruit in the state of Illinois. Top Midwest recruit. The kid is an athletic stud. Athletic stud, pure athleticism. And he can hit you on your ass. Tyler Genesee is one of those kids. Next one, my favorite linebacker, Kenyata. Again, if he was 3 inches taller, he'd be getting Big 10, Big 12 offers and would be a top 10 linebacker in the nation. Kenyata is one of those kids from Lincoln Ways that you must know about. Did an interview from Good Kid as well. Do not sleep on him. He is the real deal. He is a top linebacker in this state, and whoever gets him is getting a kid that can automatically contribute to his team early. Next, Matt Kingsbury, St. Rita, and Matt Kingsbury has been starring it up right now. He is hot. He's getting his offers. He is definitely a huge name and a former Lincoln Way East player too, transferred to St. Rita. Matt Kingsbury is the real deal. Do not sleep on Matt Kingsbury. And I think, again, because he goes to St. Rita, a lot of people aren't sleeping on him. But he's going to continue to get better. And I definitely can see him going in the Power 5, no doubt about that. Kiefer Tarnacki of Sycamore. Again, one of my other favorite linebackers. Undersized, but he gets the job done. Great pursuit, great coverage. I really, really respect this kid. This kid is the real deal, and you should not sleep on him. Do not sleep on Kiefer Tarnacki. Jack Sadowski, Batavia, and a lot of people were like, oh, why is there a second linebacker from Batavia? Because it's Batavia and they make great linebackers. Jack Sadowski is one of those kids. Again, great frame. There's still growth, and a lot of college coaches see that growth in Jack Sadowski, and they see a lot of great potential coming from him. They see Tyler Genesee, again, a star. Jack Sadowski, star, and he's one of those kids, again, takes the blocks, fights off the blocks, so definitely another big kid that you need to watch out for. Gerald Floyd, Plainfield North. Why aren't we talking more about this kid, people? He is an absolute stud. Great athleticism, good agility too, great vision, reads out the plays perfectly. Gerald Floyd of Plainfield North is one of those linebackers that you must know about. Henry Ivers, Brother Rice, another top linebacker that we do not need, that people should be talking about more and more, and I think they will after we get to the first row of offers. He'll be a big prospect in the second row of offers, but Henry Ivers out of Brother Rice is that kid. Great frame, good agility. I think a lot of people would like to see more of his technique progress a little bit more and more of his defensive reads, but he's definitely a kid to check out for. Jaden Howard, Belleville East. Absolute raw prospect in the state of Illinois, but could be one of the best defensive players come out of the state of Illinois. Great athleticism, good on his reads his keys perfectly. Like to see a little bit more of him fighting off the blocks, but I think when everything is said and done, he is going to be a major player in this recruiting class. Joe Kingsbury, again, very raw. A lot of people don't know about him. I think a lot of people are going to know about him when we get into the summer camp season. I think he's overshadowed. I think he's overshadowed by his brother, and I think he's overshadowed by another St. Rita linebacker, Jamichael Towns. But Joe Kingsbury is the real deal. Do not sleep on him. Do not sleep on Joe Kingsbury. Next one, Nicholas Winters out of Belvedere North. Just like his brother Alex Winters, Nicholas Winters, again, still underrated because he's up north. But Belvedere North, he's got a secret weapon in Nicholas Winters, a kid that you must know about. Highly thought of. And again, one of those secret back pocket cards that a lot of college coaches have in their back pocket. They don't want to talk about. They don't want me talking about him. But he's one of those kids that you must know. Next one, Nick Golden, Mamahood Seymour, another small school star that you must know about. Nick Golden, again, very, very, very smart. Great on-field smarts. Fights off the blocks. Makes the tackle. Makes the play. He is that kid. I loved his pursuits that he took. He's definitely one of those kids. Next one, Ethan Hogg, Loyola Academy. And we have a highly athletic linebacker in Ethan Hogg, and definitely another kid we just have not talked about that much. Good in his coverage, great with his tackles. I think still growing into his body a little bit unbalanced again. And if he gets checked by an offensive lineman, it's a little tough for him. But we'll see him get better. He's definitely a kid to keep an eye out for. Next one, Ross Dansville of Wheaton North. How come no one is looking more at this kid? This kid is an absolute star. Another linebacker stud from Wheaton North, like Walker was from Wheaton North. But Ross Dansville, again, he also plays a little bit of tight end too. He is a gamer. You must know about this kid, Ross Dansville. Highly athletic. Still raw, but again, college coaches can mold him to what they like. Ross Dansville is the real deal. Next one, talking about Wheaton Warrenville South, Zach Kromokos. Another linebacker, again, a little bit undersized size, but again, very high potential leader for the Tigers. Love his IQ on the field. Makes good reads. Goes through his keys as all linebackers should do. But again, the main thing is he needs, I think a little bit more would be if he had the size, more college coaches would be interested in him. Jermichael Towns, St. Rita, star. And another kid needs to be talked about more, but he plays at St. Rita, and just St. Rita is stacked. But Jermichael Towns is the real deal, originally from Bremen, but he is the real deal. I love the fact where his hand placement is, good agility too. Like to see again more on a little bit of his technique, improve a little bit more, but definitely like to watch out for. Next, Cory West, Sacred Heart Griffin. Again, Central Illinois star right here. Sacred Heart Griffin always has one or two good linebackers every season. Cory West is one of them, a kid that you must know about. He'll knock you on your ass. He'll eat your dinner, simple as that. He is a running back's worst nightmare. He is a wide receiver's worst nightmare. Cory West of the Sacred Heart Griffin is that kid that you must know about. Next, Justin Kreutz, Warren Township. And Justin Kreutz of Warren Township is another athletic, spectacular, a little bit like Ross Dansville. Would like to see a little bit more grow into his technique, but definitely kid to keep an eye out for. Next, CJ Campos, Lamont. Again, still very, very raw. We'll see how he develops, and especially on the field, especially with his keys. Chris McKinney of Homer Flossmoor right now is looking at right now is the third best linebacker in the state of Illinois. Could be the number one linebacker. He's already got the national spotlight shown on him. Chris McKinney has been the real deal. Has been the most impressive linebacker from this state just on game film alone. Chris McKinney is definitely that kid, and he is a Power 5 player, no doubt about it, and deserves the respect that he is getting now. Definitely a kid that you must check out. Next, Illinois defensive backs, class of 2023. Again, very top heavy, not that much in the middle, which is a little bit of a surprise. Dry Hill, Kankakee is the best. A lot of people say one of the best defensive backs in the state of Illinois. He's gotten so many offers, and he's going to continuously get more offers. He's just an absolute star. He's the kid that everyone should know about from the state of Illinois. I consider a top 5 recruit in the state of Illinois. I consider a top 10 recruit in the Midwest. He's a national recruit. He is everything. Jariel Hill of Kankakee is that kid. Next, Kewan Davis out of Morgan Park. He's getting offers. Great athleticism. Good with the hip tracing too. And again, high character kid on and off the field. High class kid. A kid that you want in the program and say, hey, this kid represents our program. Kewan Davis of Morgan Park is that kid. So don't sleep on him. John Nestor. Marist, big dog recruit in the state of Illinois. I've heard a lot of comparisons from college coaches to him and Matt Bowen, the former Glenbard West great and Iowa great and NFLer. John Nestor, don't want to say that. I said the worst thing that I could ever say, NFL. But John Nestor from Marist is the real deal. He is, again, high IQ, very athletic, unbelievable with his jumping. I completely impressed with the kid. a kid that you must know. Versari Walker, Naquan Valley. You should know about this kid. Every time this kid gets onto the field, he is very underrated. And again, Naquan Valley, they always have one or two good DBs. And Versari Walker is one of them. And just an absolute great kid. Just an absolute great kid. Next one, Kale Ryan was injured last season. But again, I have a feeling that he could be one of the best defensive backs in the state. And if he wasn't injured, we'd be talking about him being one of the best DBs in the country. Kale Ryan is that kid. Keep an eye out for him this fall. He's going to shock a lot of people, and he's a wait and see with college coaches. Keon Kohler of Simeon, he's gotten a few offers. He's going to continuously get more offers. Again, very athletic, but still very, very raw. Very raw. And again, needs to work on that hip tracing. DeAndre Young, Harlem, a kid that you must know about, that no one's talking about. Again, another kid from up north that a lot of people are sleeping on. DeAndre Young is that kid. He's that real deal. He will absolutely kill your passing game. He will shut it down. He is definitely a kid that you need to know. Andrew Beasley out of Simeon. Again, another very raw Simeon player. Good with the hips. Would like to see more on his pursuit. And especially with those deeper balls, how he can contain it. Needs to work a little bit more on his bump and run, but we will see what happens with Andrew Beasley of Simeon. Kewan Davis, Morgan Park, another star DB that you must know about. The kid is highly athletic, lives on an island of his own, and good with his hands. Kewan Davis is a kid that you must know. Next one, Noah Taylor of Lamont. Again, very, 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 very underrated. Definitely a kid that you need to talk about more. We'll see again. Like I talked to college coaches, they like his gameplay, but again, there's things that you look at on the film and they just don't connect together. And Noah Taylor will probably be one of those late risers that you need to know about out of Lamont. Michael Jefferson Jr., Grays Lake North. Michael Jefferson, again, star. We don't talk about him because he's all the way up north. If he was living in Chicago or in the southern burbs or western burbs or closer to Chicago, he would be highly recruited. But Michael Jefferson Jr. is the real deal. And another kid that you must know about. Saw him out the Top Gun 7-on-7, was completely impressed with his athleticism. The game film speaks for itself. Great hip tracing, good at his reads. Cassius Callahan, Warren Township, the next Warren Township star that's going to take everything over in the recruiting game. He has been unbelievable, great tackling machine as well. And again, Warren Township has one of the best secondaries in the state of Illinois. They are scary people. They are really scary. Do not screw around with this Warren Township secondary, and it's secondary and it's defense. Don't screw around with that. I don't want to. They give me nightmares, that Warren Township defense. I'd be crying and hiding in the corner if I was an offensive coordinator going against Warren Township. Next, Angelo Stocks, still Simeon. Is he a wide receiver? Is he a defensive back? Is he a linebacker? You could probably play defensive line too. Angelo Stocks still is an athlete. Don't get me wrong. He impressed a lot of people on that Boom showcase and a few other showcases. But Angelo Stocks still is another kid that you must keep an eye out for. He's still progressing. He's still growing. Next one, Johnny Schmidt, St. Rita. High on-field IQ, great with his reads, good on his pursuits. Got to work a little bit on that hip tracing, and like to see more out of his agility and speed for Johnny Schmidt. Next one, a kid that I absolutely adore, and I just feel that this kid could be one of the top 5 recruits in the state of Illinois. And is a hell of a role model for a college team, whoever gets him, is that kid that you point out and you say, hey, you know what? That kid's going to be on the college program in a couple of years from now. His face is going to be on it, and he's going to be the one where college coaches say, yeah, you got to interview this kid. He's our perfect team leader. Jalen Duffy out of Warren Township has been nonstop, unbelievable in the showcases. From seeing him, it was his sophomore year in 2020. to 2021 to 2022, our freshman year. He has been unbelievable. Do not sleep on Jalen Duffy. He's getting offers. He's going to get more offers. He's a Power 5 player. Do not sleep on Jalen Duffy. Damon Walters talking about Power 5 players. Again, a top national player that everyone knows about, that you need to respect. The kid gets it done. And he knows how to get for it. He knows how to get those balls. His timing is impeccable against wide receivers. Good hip tracing. Reads the quarterback. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He is one of the most talked about recruits in the state of Illinois right now. Quentin Reeves, Warren Township. Highly, highly underrated DB that you must know about. Another great Warren Township kid. I mean, I'm telling you right now, Warren Township, they make high quality kids, and Quentin Reeves is one of those players. He is a highly motivated, good with his reads. Still got to grow a little bit into his body. Again, hip tracing needs a little bit of work, but we'll see what happens. But Quentin Reeves is one of them. Jaequan Armor out of Phillips. Jaequan Armor, still not talked about enough. Kid needs a good, unbelievable acceleration. And especially if he makes a mistake, he still can get into that. He can still get into that lane. Definitely good at tracing the routes. Definitely a kid that you must know. And the last one, Delante Butcher, Montini High School. He's not at Montini anymore. He's at Plainfield East. He transferred to Plainfield East. He is another top DB coming out of the state of Illinois, a kid that you must know about, and he is unbelievable. Delante Butcher is the real deal. Again, great speed, great acceleration, can get his arm out there, good on the pass breakups too. Delante Butcher out of Montini is a kid that you must know. Not Montini, Plainfield East, out of Plainfield East, I apologize, but definitely a kid that you must know. And that is it. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you would like my work, feel free to leave a tip / donation via PayPal link below or after this scene. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpete@fp@gmail.com if you have any questions. And feel free to watch the other videos of other positions that I have in this watch list for the class of 2023, and watch the athletes one is too, because I might have some of the spots that you guys might not know about. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy the day.